For those of you who haven't heard yet, New York State just passed a new law on June 14th that affects the relationships between landlords and tenants. You'll want to pay close attention if you're a landlord or a tenant here in New York. Now, most of the law applies to rent-stabilized buildings with 6 units or more. And because the majority of our clients own condos, co-ops, and 1 to 4 family homes, we'll focus on how this affects you. Now, I'm also providing a link to the entire law from New York State Senate website. Okay, let's begin. Currently, landlords are required to give 30-day notice if they want the apartment vacated, and before an eviction process begins. Now, starting October 13th, the notices are going to be dependent on how long the tenant has been in the unit. Now, 30 days are required if the tenant has been there for less than 1 year, 60 days for someone who's been there between 1 and 2 years, and 90-day notice for over 2 years of occupancy. The same timeline applies if the landlords are trying to raise rent more than 5% at any given time. Now, when you do send out a notice, you'll need to have proof that it was received. Sometimes certified mail is enough. However, we recommend hiring a server. It's the safest way to give notice of rent increases and notice to vacate. Also, landlords can no longer refuse to rent based on prior court records or screening tests. The maximum security deposit that can be collected is 1 month's rent, and pass-along charges are now completely prohibited. This means that the rent cannot go up for air conditioning in the summer or fuel charges during the winter months. Last but not least, previously a judge was able to grant up to 6 months of stay for a tenant going through an eviction process. The new law states that the judge can grant up to a year's stay for the tenant if the tenant cannot find suitable housing in the same area or if the eviction would cause extreme hardship. Now, we hope that you found this information helpful and valuable. If you have any questions or want to discuss your specific situation, give us a call.